Welcome to Where There's Wheels.
There's a play.
I'm Ian, your Mitsubishi casual gamer.
I'm Stacey, I'm a non-gamer gamer.
And we're here today with a new review series that we're starting up of some smaller games instead of doing our full, large, long-form initial impressions. We are going to do 3 quicker reviews of a couple of push your luck games that we recently learned. Those of you that follow the channel may remember that a couple months ago we did our 5 and dime of push your luck games, and we asked for some recommendations, and we got some great recommendations in. One of them we did a full initial impressions for, and then we have 3 more that we're going to be doing today. So the first one we're going to be doing comes to us from Keymaster Games, and this is Chicken, and it comes in this nice little tube because it is a dice rolling push your luck game. In Chicken, it is your job as the farmer to help raise your chickens while avoiding foxes. Let's go down to the table and see how it plays. In Chicken, you place your player mat in the middle of the table so all players can access it. You give each player a player marker that they will use and put it in the start section. You put your 4 yellow dice and your 4 orange dice in the chicken coop, and you give the first player the 4 white dice. On these dice, there are different symbols. You have egg symbols. On the white dice, there's 2 egg symbols. You have chicken symbols. There are 2 chicken symbols, and there's 1 fox symbol on the white, and then there's a blank side. On the yellow, the configuration is just a little bit different. You still have only 1 fox, but you have 2 or just 1 egg, and you have 3 chickens. And on the orange, this one has a little more risk, but it also has more reward. There is 1 chicken, there's a double chicken, there's only, and then there's 2 foxes, and then there's 2 blank sides. So on your turn, you are going to roll the 4 dice. You're going to put the foxes on one side, and you are going to put the eggs in the middle. If you get any chickens, you're going to put them on the right side. When you get eggs, you are going to hatch new dice. Now, when I do this, I'm going to take yellow dice first. They suggest placing the blank side up just so you don't get confused of what you have already rolled. Now you have a choice. You may stop and count your chickens. Well, I don't have any chickens right now, so I'm going to re-roll. When I re-roll, you need to roll all of the dice. So we're going to re-roll. I got 3 chickens, but I also got 3 foxes. So when I get 3 foxes, that means I bust because the foxes have gone into the chicken coop and snatched the chickens. Any yellow and orange dice go back into the middle, and that first player does not score. Then it's the next player's turn. This person gets 2 eggs and 2 chickens, so they're going to get 2 more. They've got 2 chickens. They don't have any foxes yet. They are also going to roll once again, and they are going to get 1 more chicken, and they are going to get 2 more eggs, so they're going to get these eggs in. Now that is the end of their turn. They have 3 chickens, so they are going to move 3 spaces. Now you pass all the dice to the next person. This is where the next person has a choice. The next person can either take all of the dice, in this case all 8 dice, and roll them. And whatever happens, happens. Or they can chicken out. If you chicken out, you lose 1 point and you return all yellow and orange dice to the middle of the board. Well, they are still at the start, so it doesn't really matter. So there's a fox, chicken, 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 egg. So they got lots of, so they're going to hatch 2 more eggs. So now they take 2 orange ones. So now there's lots of dice. These ones are already safe. These ones aren't. These ones are not safe. So now they, once again, this player has a choice. Do they stop and count their chickens? That's a lot of points here. Do they push your luck and roll these 4 dice? They are going to push their luck and roll the 4 dice. They got a double chicken. Oh, they got lots of good stuff. So they ended up with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they got 8 points. Now they pass all of these dice over to the next person. And if you can't hold all these dice in your hand to roll them, the game does come with this nice little tube here that everything goes into. And you can place all the dice in there to roll. So they are going to go for it. They're going to roll all of the dice. They got lots of chickens. That was a blank. They have no foxes yet, so they are going to roll. They got lots of chickens. They got lucky. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and that is the end of their turn. Now it goes back around to the first player. You keep on doing this. Let's say the first player's like, you know what, that's a little too risky for me. I'm already behind. I don't want to take this. I'm going to chicken out. If they chicken out on their turn, all of these dice get returned and they will roll that in. The winner is the first player to get to 25. All right. So with chicken, I really like the push your luck aspect in this one. The dice rolling really makes you feel like I just want to roll those dice. I don't want to get rid of those dice. I think the game itself, there's not a ton of artwork with it. Really, it's the board. I do like the little mat. It folds up and rolls into this very nicely. Um, the gameplay of it is very simple. It's very easy. It's quick to play. This could be played with anyone. It says 10 to 20 minutes, 2 to 8 players, so it scales very well to a high player count because everybody's kind of doing their own thing. I mean, you get to choose whether or not you roll the dice. I mean, the artwork. This is your artwork right here. Basically,
Pretty
is
simple. The
pretty
dice
simple.
each have, the symbols on them.
Yeah.
So they're pretty easy to distinguish, and the colors help distinguish the different dice as well. So, I like how compact it is. It's an easy travel game. You could probably take this, on the airplane, play it in the hotel. Oh, if you want to. So that is chicken.
And we did, as soon as we bought this one was one of the ones that was recommended to us. As soon as we bought this and played it the first time, we did buy the egg expansion, which comes with this little bag, and it comes with two other dice, a a uh, a dog dice and a pink dice, a pink and a purple dice, and those dice add some nice little things. So the only thing that changes is instead of putting all of your orange and yellow dice in the middle of your coop, you put all of those dice in here and you randomly draw them out. So the bark dice allows you to kind of scare away one of the foxes, or the dog allows you to scare away one of the foxes. And then the other one has a symbol on it that has a chicken that is still half in the egg. So you count as a chicken, but you also have to hatch another egg. So it is basically two dice and a bag, and it wasn't like super cheap, but it wasn't super expensive either. But yeah, chicken, it was a big hit for us right away. We're like, let's just get these extra two dice and I don't think we'll play without the two extra dice because it is just that much fun with them. So yeah, chicken, really fun, really quick game. The dice rolling part of it really feels like you're pushing your luck with that one.
I agree.
All right, and next, and that was by Keymaster Games. And the next one is an older game that comes to us now, who have just picked it up, 25th Century, and this is Circus Flohcati. In Circus Flohcati, you are trying to create the best circus by creating the best scoring hands of circus cards, which represent different acts. So let's get down to the table and see how this plays. Set up Circus Flohcati, you simply take the deck of cards that has all of your circus act cards and your action cards. You shuffle them together and you make a single pile. And you take the first card and you flip it over, and that is the start. I'm going to slide these up. All right, on your turn, you may either take the card from the display or you may reveal cards until you want to take one or until you reveal a card that is the same color, in which your turn is then over. So let's say the first player is going to reveal a card. He's going to reveal another card. Oh, he sees a couple twos out there, so he wants to take one of these twos, and his his turn is over. Now, the second player has now revealed a gray card. We already have a gray throwing knife thrower here. So the second player has busted and their turn is over. They do not get to take anything because if you reveal the same color, that goes into the discard pile. The third player, oh, he has also gotten a gray. Wow. And the fourth player, or back to the first player, he's now up here. He revealed one card, but he doesn't want to do too much more. He's going to take this because he is starting to make a trio. The goal of the game is to make as many trios as you can. You make a trio by getting three of the same number. The second player is now seeing two fours out here. They're going to take a four, and they're not going to do anything else. The next player is going to reveal some cards. Oh, they got a action card. This reveal action card tells you to reveal cards until a duplicate color is shown, discard the duplicate, and still choose a card. So normally, like we saw with these gray cards, if you reveal a duplicate color, you do not get to take a card. This is telling you you get to take a card. So they're going to reveal as many cards as they can. until a duplicate color comes out, and there's a blue that gets discarded. They still get to take a color. Um, Now they don't know, and they might not remember. They might remember what the other players have taken, but let's say they don't. They're going to just take this 7 because a lot of grays have been taken. So they're hoping that that's a good one. So that was their turn. This goes into the discard pile, and then you keep on going. It's back to this player. Oh, a blue. That's not good for them. It's back to the second player. They want this 4, so they're going to take this 4 here. And we're going to keep going around the table. Oh, the third player revealed a orange card. The first player wants this 2. This 2 now completes a trio. So at the end of their turn, they may play a trio down, and at the end of the game, that is going to be worth 10 points. And let's just keep on revealing these. Okay, that was the third player. They're going to take that because they need that. This person doesn't want to push their luck. They're going to start a new set here. This person wants this 4, so they can make a trio. This person over here going to keep going. They're getting pretty tight here, so they're going to take a 1 so that they can start another set. This person sees a 2. Oh, this person sees this 3. They really want that 3. And you keep on going until all the cards are out. There are 2 other action cards, and so here's one. Here's take. Choose a player, take a random card from their hand. So what you're going to do is if you get this card, you're going to just choose one of the other players, and you get to randomly take a card from their hand. Normally, these cards are in their hand. And then let's just reveal a few more here to find the other. Let's find another action card. Well, where? Okay, let's just look for it. Oh, there's a give right there on the bottom. So on give, you choose a player to give you a card from their hand of their choice. So then you choose someone and they will give you a card. At the end of the game, you count up how many points you have for the number of trios you have. And then you also, whatever cards you still have left in your hand. So let's say this person got a trio here and they had these cards in their hand. Okay, they're going to look at each circus act. So each circus act is a different color. Their highest orange is 4 points. Their highest one here is 5 points. So that one doesn't matter. Their highest one here is 4. Their highest one here is 1. So you get those points added to your trios. Trios are worth 10 points. The other thing you can do is if you were to collect one of each color. Let's see if I can find all the colors here quickly. If you were to find one of each color, and there are 10 different colors. Yes, so let's see here. Let's see if I can find that last color. You may call a gala show. And what the gala show does is the gala show immediately ends the game. I thought there was 10 different colors. Maybe there's 9 different colors. I'm not seeing a 10th different color. So if you get one of each color, you may call for a gala show, and then the game immediately ends and everybody counts up their points. It is worth 10 points. So if you can get it, it's 10 points. Oh, there's the last color. So there are your 10 colors. It is a little tricky though because other people are forming trios as you are trying to collect the 10 different colors. So some other people might, so calling for a gala show may be beneficial. It ends the game immediately. You get 10 points, but you want to make sure you have enough points in your hand already. So there you have it. There is how you play Circus Flohcati. So I did make one small little mistake in that teach, and that was early on when the first player made their first trio. They took the pink 2. There was another pink card at the beginning of that line, and I had not seen that, so that should not have been able to be taken. That player's turn should have been over. So just so you know, there was a slight mistake with that first trio that was made by player number 1.
But I do like this game. The artwork is very simple. I don't think the circus people are trained well enough to be doing the circus acts that they are. They're a little off centered. So it does make it a little bit more dangerous for them to be doing the particular circus acts that are on the card with the people that are on there. But this is a fun game. The one thing I don't like about this game is that some of the colors are pretty similar to each other, so it's kind of hard to tell what colors they are. For me, it's hard for me to tell certain colors if they're close together, and I have a hard time with that. But if you can get past that, this is a really fun press your luck game. Each time you play it, it's going to be different depending on what colors come up in the deck, and I highly recommend this to everybody.
Yeah, and the color thing is because your eyes are drawn to the color first, not the drawings on them. Mm-hmm. So even though each color is a different drawing, the colors is what you kind of draw your eyes over. There are a couple, depending on your lighting, which really do kind of blend a little bit together. But yeah, no, this is a really fun one. This one is a bit older. And this comes just from Reiner Knizia, who is that makes about 5,000 games a year. I think is his count. Pretty close, or at least. No, this is a really fun one. It definitely the flipping of the flipping of the cards. I'm like, I think I can go in. There's only 3 cards out there. I'm not gonna get the same number. I don't want any of those numbers out there. I can get the same. I want to get a different color. There's no way that the next color is going to be the same as one of these 3 when there's 10 colors, and then inevitably it happens more often than not. So I think the push your luck aspect of this one really works really well, because you want to take that as card because like I don't want any of those numbers. Those aren't the numbers I need. Mm-hmm. And there's not very many colors out there, so I can easily get another one.
Kind of forces you to keep going.
Kind of forces you to get going. So yeah, this one was another one that was a hit. That was recommended to us on our video, and yeah, another one that was a big hit for us. So that was Circus Flohcati, which now comes to us from 25th Century Games. And our final one is all about penguins diving into the ocean to collect food, and that is Deep Dive, and this comes to us from AEG and Flat Out Games. This is one of Flat Out Games' small box collections. Flat Out Games, if you don't know, are the company that brings us like Cascadia and Calico and stuff. So this is one of their small box games. And in this, like I said, you are diving your penguins down into the ocean to try to collect food and avoid predators. Let's go down to the table and see how it plays. Play Deep Dive. Each player will receive 3 of their penguin meeples. You place your tiles face down in their different depths. You can see there's a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and 5 depth. For a 1 to 3 player game, you play with just the main set of tiles. In a 4 and 6, you add these extra tiles. It has a little marker on it showing you that it is the extra tiles. And then depending on player count, you are going to take out a certain number of tiles from each row of tiles. In a single and 2 player game, you're going to take out 7 from each. In a 3 player game, you're going to take out 3 from each depth. So let's just take out 3 of these, 3 of these, 3 of these. All right. On your turn, you are going to take one of your penguin meeples and you're going to take them to the first depth. And what you're going to do is you're going to flip over a tile. If that tile is a food, you may resurface with it and collect it. You are trying to collect sets of food. There are 3 different colors of food, and you are trying to collect those. If you do not want to collect that one, you may dive to the next depth and flip over another tile. And you can continue doing this. They don't want to collect that one. They're going to go down here. Make sure those are in the right depth. They're going to go down here. Ooh, that one's looking pretty good. That one's worth 4 points at the end. They're going to go one more. This is where you push luck. Oh, they hit a predator. So what the predator does is the predator traps them. And now it is the next player's turn. So the blue player is going to bring theirs in. They are going to take this. Oh, they got a rock. So this rock tile, what you can do is you may collect that and resurface. So they're going to collect that and they're going to resurface. What that rock tile allows them to do on future turns is to swallow the rock and go as far down as you can. Because the further down you go, the higher point total the tiles are worth. Now it's the yellow player's turn. They're going to go, oh, they hit a predator right away. We're going to go back here. They're going to keep diving. Oh, so when they hit this open water bubbles, that means they are required to go to the next level and go down. Oh, another open water. Getting dangerous here. Ooh, they're going to take that one and they're going to resurface. Now, what's going to happen is you are going to be going through and you're going to be flipping over all these tiles. If um, at some point, some tiles might be flipped over. If at any point all three of your penguins are uh, trapped by the predators, you will recall all of them into your hand and you get to choose one thing out of one of the rows. So you see this orange penguin has 3 trapped penguins, or the orange player has 3 trapped penguins. There's nothing in this row. This one's just going to come back up. This row, they could take this for 2. They could take one of these for 2. They could take this rock. They like this one because it is going to give them another color in the set. So they now have a pink and a green. You were trying to get a pink, or sorry, a pink and yellow. They're trying to get a pink, a yellow, and a green. For every complete set that you get, so if they were to get this complete set, they would score the total points. For every incomplete set that they have, so let's say they had another set here that was just the pink and yellow, you would get half of the points at the end of the game. So you keep on playing, everybody takes their turn, goes down as far as they want until one of the rows is completely flipped over. So I'll show you how this rock works. So this rock, this blue player is going to discard this rock and swallow it. They can go all the way down to the bottom and hopefully get a really high scoring 8-point tile right away. So they're going to take that as one of their tiles in one of their sets. So like I said, you keep on playing until every tile in one row or one depth has been flipped over. That signals the end game. Whoever is the first player, when it becomes their turn again, they will flip this over to the last dive. Now, if the first player is the person to flip this over, then the last dive means this is their last dive and everybody gets one more turn. If somebody else were to flip it, let's say the blue player were to flip it over, this last dive does not turn over until it gets back to the first player, and then everybody gets one more. So other people may get more turns on that. So when any player flips over the last remaining tile of any of the 5 depths, the active player completes their current turn as usual and play passes the next player. When it returns to the start player, so this person would go, the yellow person would go, and then it returns to them. They flip this over. Now everybody gets one more final dive. At the end of the game, you count up your points. Like I said, if you have a complete set, you get the total points on each one of them. If you have an incomplete set, you add them up and you get half of the points there. And that is how you play Deep Dive. I want to just quickly clarify the last dive because I misspoke on the first player. If the first player is the person who flips over the last tile, that round continues and they flip the last dive tile over when it returns to them. So basically, they will get 2 more turns. Also, during the last dive, if a row is completely flipped over, you can skip that row as if you had one of your penguins that was trapped by a predator. So I just wanted to clarify those 2 things at the end.
Very nice. And I love Deep Dive. This is quickly, I mean, it's a simple game, but it's fun because you don't know what you're going to be flipping over. The replayability on this is, I mean, it's what you draw. Before you start playing the game, for however many players you have, you take out a certain number of tiles, so you don't know if you're taking out predators or if you're taking out fish. So depending on what you take out at the beginning of the game can even be more challenging depending on what's taken out and set aside. The artwork is cute, is very playful on this. They're very simple. It's just a single fish on a tile. The penguins are wooden and very good quality. You're not going to bend them or break them or anything. It's just a good, playful family game to see who can dive the deepest or get the most points. You don't even have to dive very deep. As soon as one row is turned over, end of game is started. Um, so depending on what you are planning to do, if you see that you have a bunch of tile sets and nobody else does, you may want to hurry and try to end that game so that you can score all of your points. But if you notice that you are behind, you may want to just, hurry and try and pass by a row so that they're not flipped over all at once to end the game. Then you can try and pass it by
It, it is
somehow.
it is a very interesting push your luck because like you know I mean people are pushing their luck early, especially in 2 player. Like we're we're
Mm-hmm.
we're not taking those 1 and 2 point tiles at the top because we want higher point tiles. But it also makes it like that row is getting flipped over, and the quicker the row gets flipped over, the quicker the game ends. There are less tiles per row
Mm-hmm.
as you go down. And so, like, depth 1, it has 44 total tiles before you take them out. Depth 2 has 40, 3 has 30, 4 has 23, and 5 has 23 before you take them out. So, like, the further down you go, there's less tiles to flip over. And there's a certain number of each one of the things in each row. So
Mm-hmm.
like as you get deeper, there are more predators, and like Stacey said, you don't know what you're taking out. So you could have a lot of predators. I actually played a solo game of this as well, and I think this plays very well solo because it does actually have an opponent. It's not beat your own score where the penguin just they go to the first depth, they flip over a tile. If it's a rock, they take it. If it's a bubble, they move down. If it's a predator, they just stay, and the predator just stays up. And then they after their turn they go down. Oh, and if they flip over the fish that you're trying to your food that you're trying to get, they also will take it and then move down to the next row. And so each round they are going down each row. So they're flipping one thing in each row every round. So I did want to mention the solo in this is very well done. I really enjoyed it solo actually, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty good. And there's some different complexity. Like you can score the rocks, you can score the bubbles in it as well, for different complexities in that. Yeah, this game's a lot of fun. Like Stacey said, you flip over that tile. Like, I don't want a 1 point tile. I know there's like 2 and 3 point tile. I want to go for that. I don't want a 2 point tile. I want to keep going, and you want to keep going, and then all of a sudden you're like trapped. And then when the predators trap you, it's kind of this uh-oh moment, especially if it's your first one, because if there's no fish in the 3 levels that you get trapped in when you get to recall all of your things, you don't get to take a tile. So all of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
you've wasted all these turns not taking a tile. So yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Yep. And it does benefit you to get some rocks at the beginning
It does.
because it keeps you from drawing in those center aisles to or center rows to make the game last a little bit longer if that's what you're trying to do. So if you get that rock in the first one, then on your next turn you can go all the way to the bottom and not worry about turning it over those rows to try and make those rows last a little bit longer.
I had one game where Stacy kept on bypass. One of the first games we played, she kept on bypassing the rocks, and I was taking all the rocks because I wanted to go all the way to the bottom. And yes, there was a better chance of having predators, but I was revealing all of the information in the bottom row. So then I knew there was going to be some good things down there. So I had like all these jobs. Like, okay, I got 3. Okay, we'll come back. And like if I got 2 down there, I would try and collect some stuff before I used my other rock. And then I ended up getting some really high scoring. I did end up with like I think all 3 of my penguins down there, or at least 2 of them, and one of them got trapped higher up. But yeah, so there's all sorts of different strategies to play this game. It's a lot of fun. We really enjoyed this one. This one definitely was a good suggestion. I don't remember who suggested it. There was a couple people that suggested it on our video, but it was a lot of fun for us to play. It's fairly quick setup. You just put your tiles out and you just take the ones out that you don't use, and then you the gameplay's quick. Okay, put it out. Nope, flip it. Nope, don't want that one. Nope, don't flip it. Okay, you just keep on going down until you want it, and then the next person's turn. So yeah, I really like this one.
For me, the thing that took the longest is trying to decide which one to flip because I just knew whichever one I flipped was going to be
Was
the
gonna be bad.
predator.
Yeah,
So I touch one, no. So we need to have a rule. If you touch it, you got to flip it.
yeah,
Maybe that we make that a house rule
yeah.
or
We
something.
did a house rule. I will say we did a house rule the tiebreaker because
Mm.
there's one tiebreaker. The tiebreaker in this game is whoever is the most completed rows wins. Well, we had a game the other day where we both had the same number of completed rows. And it's like,
We
well,
don't like to
we
tie.
don't we feel like there needs to be more time. So we house ruled the tiebreakers. We then went to a tiebreaker of whoever has the most tiles in their incomplete rows, because to us that makes more sense. They were able to collect more tiles. They should be able to win the game. And if that's a tie, we actually house ruled it to, hey, whoever has the most rocks left because you didn't use your rocks. So we house ruled the tiebreakers for us. But they made sense. We didn't just kind of go, oh yeah, it's this random. It made sense to us to say, like, if you're tied with the most number of complete rows, whoever has the most other tiles in incomplete rows, they got more tiles. They should win the game. But yeah, so three completely different push your luck games. We have a dice rolling push your luck. We have a tile flipping push your luck, and we have a card uh, flipping push your luck. Um, I think they all do it very, very well. I think the push your luck and you wanting to do the next thing works very well in all three of these.
So thank you to those of you who've recommended these to us. And if you have any other games that you would recommend to us, please let us know down in the comments. We love press your luck games.
We've like we've said
going up
like
to the
we've
top.
said, push your luck, press your luck has quickly become one of our favorite mechanisms in board gaming. Yeah, it's yeah, we absolutely love push your luck, press your luck, whatever you want to call it. It's just I don't know. There's something about it, like wanting to that risk. Neither of us are very risky people, so being able to do it in a board game where you are very risk averse in real life, and that's changed for me. Like I used to be a little bit more risky. I'm definitely laid back. I mean, I'm used to rock climbing, do all that stuff. So when I was younger, I definitely I was a little more risky with stuff. As I've gotten older, I'm definitely much more risk averse and stuff. So being able to do that and kind of scratch that little itch of that riskiness in a push your luck game is just it makes it actually makes it a lot more fun. You're like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna take this because what happens, especially in deep dive, what happens in deep dive is well, actually, in all these, when someone starts getting ahead, you start getting a little more riskier. Or in deep dive, when someone starts getting ahead, you stop taking risks almost because
you take the guarantee.
You like, I need to complete this row. I've got these because sometimes what happens is you end up with incomplete sets with really high scoring ones in there, and you're like, I just need to complete the set so I can get 10 points for that instead of 5. Same thing with Circus Flohcati. Someone starts making there was a couple times where I was going for the gala, which I think in a 2-player game is going to be very hard to make sense. And all of a sudden, Stacey had um, like 5 or 6 trios, and I'm like, okay, I can't be as risky. I need to now. I need to change my strategy, and I need to change my strategy. I need to not be as risky. Um, in Chicken, it almost feels different, and I think it's because it's a dice game. In Chicken, I almost felt like if you fell behind, you have to take the risk and you have to roll all the dice. So it's a really weird thing. I think it's something with the dice. Something with the dice in push your luck games makes you want to take that makes it harder to not take the risk rather than in deep dive in Circus Flohcati with with the cards and with the tiles. It's a little easier to not take that risk and be like, no, I'm gonna take the guaranteed thing. Um, I think also, oh, I know what it is. There's information that's revealed already. So it's a lot easier in deep dive in Circus Flohcati to not take that risk because you have information that you already know. You know which tiles are flipped over, you know which cards are flipped over. So you have that kind of safety net. Whereas in Chicken, you're rolling the dice or you're not rolling death. The push your luck is on that second roll. Is like, okay, am I going to keep going or am I not going to keep going? So that I think that's why it's a little easier to stop in deep dive in Circus Flohcati because you have that information and you have stuff in your hand that you can like. I need to do this. I need to fill this set and this set. Whereas in Chicken, you're not filling sets. So
and I'm a huge risk taker. When I used to go to Vegas, I used to head straight to the nickel machines, and I bow out at $1. Like I was out at $1. So
all those times you went to Vegas,
it's quite a few times before we were married. I used to go and at whatever it was called, O'Malley's or O'Reilly's, or I don't even think it exists anymore.
O'Reilly's is the auto shop.
Oh yeah. But anyway, they had nickel and penny machines, and I head straight to there with my $2 in hand, and I risk it all. And sometimes I'd come out ahead, sometimes I'd lose it all. So
I've been to Vegas once, and I've been to one other place that was a casino back in Wisconsin, and both times I was up, and then I ended up losing what I started with.
I
So
won $1,000 at Vegas one time.
wow, nice.
That's
But
how risky I am. I bet $10 and I won.
ooh, wow, there you go. All right, guys, there you go. There's our quick reviews for Circus for Chicken, Circus Flohcati, and Deep Dive. Three recent push your luck games that we learned and really enjoyed. Once again, this has been Where There's Wheels.
There's a play.
I'm Ian.
I'm Stacey.
And we'll see you next time
At the table.